Good afternoon. It is another episode of Games Analysis and Producer Perspectives with the host, me, Ray Hazlett. I know I just made an episode not that long ago. I am officially over my cold. Feels good to breathe through my nose again. But I have another thing that I want to talk about because this is news that just came out not that long ago. It's actually a conglomeration of a bunch of news that I wanted to give some perspective on. So for the past several months, almost a full year, I have been vocal, not only on this particular iteration of the Unscripted Gaming Universe podcast, Game Analysis and Producer Perspectives, but also on just the normal podcast of Unscripted Gaming, saying, I think Microsoft is leaving the hardware business. And I think I said if I was a betting man, I'm not. I hate betting. I hate gambling. But if I was a betting man, I would put a obscene amount of money saying that there will not be a Microsoft console that they support in 7 years. Like, they won't announce a new one. They'll say, okay, maybe they'll do one more, maybe one last shot across the bow of the gaming world, and then they're out. They're just done. They're like, now you know what? We've been in it for like X number of years. We've done it for 30 years. We gave it our best shot, and we're capping it off here. 30 years of Microsoft having video gaming. I think that would be kind of cool if they kind of did that. If they stopped in like 2031, I think that'd be neat. But that would be like a large chunk of my lifetime. That would be very nostalgic. But I don't think they're much longer. Especially after this week's news. I mean, I've had a lot of reason to think, like, I think they're just done with hardware for a long time. Like, I think we only have one more Xbox, but lately it's been like, yeah, they don't care anymore. So, we'll start off with the news. Starting first things first. I'm a huge fan of the store Costco. I am. I shop there twice a month now. When you have a kid, you kind of have to go there a lot more often, especially for diapers and wipes and different types of food, formula, whatever. Costco has great deals. I love Costco. I do a lot of shopping with Costco for other things, too. Costco has recently announced, as of last week, looks like September 26, something like that, that they are no longer going to carry Microsoft Xbox consoles in their stores, and they're calling it a business decision. I think that's a really, really bad sign. You could buy a Nintendo Switch. You could buy a Switch 2. You can buy a Sony PlayStation 5 and almost every single accessory for it at a Costco right now. Or you can order it online, especially if you want the PlayStation 5. You can absolutely order that online. I bought Donkey Kong Bonanza at a Costco and had it delivered to me because my Costco is pretty far away from me. It's like 50 miles away. But this is bad. That's not great. That is when one of the major American retailers decides, yeah, you're not worth being on our shelves anymore, that's a gigantic red flag for your hardware business. And one of the bigger red flags that they've had for their hardware business is their consoles are not selling as much. Like, yes, we all know they're in third place when it comes to like the consoles on the market right now, comparing a Nintendo Switch and a PlayStation 5, because the Switch 2 literally just came out like 3-4 months ago. If you want to include the Switch 2, I think the Switch 2 is on track to outsell the current run of Xbox Series X and S's out on the market. Because last time I checked, which was way back in June, I do believe that there were, I think it was 8 million Switch 2 sold in like its first month or something like that. Some absurd number. I don't know. It was outpacing the Switch 1. Great sales numbers for them, so good for them. Even though some people were balking at the price, apparently they weren't balking that hard. But also, Microsoft, the Xbox division, has raised the price of the Xbox Series X and S twice in this last year. It is now more expensive to buy an Xbox Series S than it would be to just buy a Nintendo Switch 1. And if I had the choice between the two, I would absolutely get the Switch One. That is not a deal. Why would I buy? What am I getting for an Xbox Series S? What exclusive games? What exclusive features? It's a low-powered Xbox Series X. Also, that naming convention is just awful. They know it's awful. I know it's awful. Everyone knows that that's a horrible name. Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X. That awful name. Awful, awful, awful. So Costco, who is known as a retailer that wants to sell large quantities of product in bulk and get it out of their store and out of their warehouses, which is the store, the warehouse is the store, as fast as possible. They're not moving as fast as possible, and they're like, well, we're done. That's my interpretation of it. We're done. We're not carrying something that's not going to sell and that you keep raising the price on. We're trying to lower the price. You keep raising the price. This is not to say that Nintendo hasn't raised the price of the Nintendo Switch and that Sony hasn't raised the price of the PlayStation 5, but they've done it very, very slowly. I think the price of the Nintendo Switch just raised by $30. This is due to tariffs, of course. Like, the prices across the board are all getting more expensive due to tariffs. That's absolutely correct. The thing is that everybody that wants a Nintendo Switch, they have a Nintendo Switch. It's one of the best-selling video game consoles ever, only being surpassed by the Sony PlayStation 2. And you have to dig deep to go hit and try to beat the PlayStation 2 in terms of sales. I think last time I looked, it was 154 million sales over its final count, the most recent count. As for the Sony PlayStation 5, yeah, it is expensive to buy a Sony PlayStation 5. As a matter of fact, looking up the price if I want to buy a PlayStation 5 right now. Live while doing this. They keep saying they're going to raise the price. It's still $500 at the Best Buy, so I guess they're going to... I know they raised the price of the PlayStation 5 Pro, but the regular model, yeah, it's still $500. That price should go down. It really should go down, but nope. Still same price. That's the price of the PlayStation 5 console with the disc drive, because I would never recommend anyone get the digital drive version, which has not sold well. I think I covered that in a recent episode, that when it comes to the lifetime sales numbers of PlayStation 5 disc drive versions to the digital only versions, 88% of all owners of a PlayStation 5 have the disc drive version. Only 12% have the digital version. Once again, people want disc drives. People want to own their games. Speaking of wanting to own their games, okay, the official retailer markup, if you want to buy a PlayStation 5 from Sony of America's store at direct.playstation.com, that's where it's $550. But if you go to any retailer website like a Best Buy, so I guess your prices will vary depending on where you want to buy it. Just depends. Okay, so speaking of owning your games, oh no, I stand corrected again. I was looking at the wrong link on Best Buy. We're doing this all live. It's $500 for the digital version. Okay, so across the board, it was a $50 increase. And that is the first increase in price that Sony PlayStation has done. Yes, all right, more expensive across the board. Absolutely, more expensive. Speaking of more expensive, if you want to buy an Xbox Game Pass, which this is what many people tout as the reason to buy an Xbox. You can go get Xbox Game Pass, you get the Ultimate version, which was, it used to be a lot cheaper. It used to be $15 a month. Now it's $20 a month for their premium subscription. Game Pass Premium, I guess as it is. Premium Ultimate, I don't know. Game Pass Ultimate. You can go ahead and get, it's something like 400 games that you can play, and then you can temporarily download it to your console. You don't own it. Like, if they decide to pull the licensing of it, that game is off of your console, or they lock the game out. But whatever. You get some benefits along with that. That is now being increased from $19.99 a month, $20, to $30 a month. A 50% price increase across the board for that specific package, the Game Pass Ultimate. And that's the one that most people have. There are the smaller ones. There's the premium and the essential, but they decrease the amount of access to games that you have. So if you want the most amount of game access, then yeah, you would go ahead and get the ultimate edition. Now, if you are one of those people that play Microsoft or Xbox Game Pass games on your PC, it got even more expensive for you. The PC version, which used to be $9.99, and I never thought it was worth it for $9.99. I thought $120, I could see how that's worth it to some people, because it used to be when the top price of games were $60. That's like, hey, for the price of 2 premium full new release games, you can have unlimited access to a bunch of games in this library. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. I don't want it, but that's cool. I'd rather just buy the games and own them. I've used it a couple times. I used it to play, what was it? Outer Worlds? Yeah, the Outer Worlds, I think it is. I paid $9.99, beat the game in under a month, and then canceled my subscription immediately. So I paid $10 to beat a $60 game. I don't know if that was worth it to Microsoft, but that's up to them to decide if that was worth it. I don't know. I'll take advantage of your stupid deals. I also did the exact same thing with Yakuza 0. Paid $9.99, played it, got about halfway through it, decided it wasn't for me, stopped playing it, and immediately canceled my subscription. So I think I've given a grand total of $20 to Microsoft Game Pass for the PC version. I didn't think it was worth it at $9.99. Then they raised the price to $11.99. I especially didn't think it was worth it for $12 a month. And now they've even raised that price as of yesterday to $16.49. $16.50. That's almost $200 a year to have access to those games. That is once again, another huge price increase. That's large. That's pretty big to a lot of people. That's making a lot of people say, gee, maybe I don't want that at all, actually. Maybe I don't use this enough as I thought I did. It's making people ask those very serious questions. To that end, the amount of people that saw this news and began canceling their Xbox Game Pass subscriptions was so large that yesterday, October 1st, the website to cancel your subscription crashed. That, again, if you're part of the Xbox Games Division, the Microsoft Games Division, Microsoft Xbox Games Division, whatever the name they go by, if you're part of that and you hear that news, you're not having a great day. You're probably hearing that and thinking, well, add some Baileys to the coffee. I don't know. You're probably just rethinking a lot of things, or you probably saw this coming and you didn't think it would be that bad. You probably didn't expect it would be crash the website to get people out of your service bad. The subreddit for the Xbox community, the social media spaces for the Xbox community, because Microsoft does have a healthy community of people that are dedicated to their platform. They are all unhappy. No one is posting anything by saying this is a good thing. No one is looking at this and saying, oh, great, Costco's not carrying Microsoft consoles anymore, and it got way more expensive for me to own their games, and it's way more expensive for someone to buy one of their consoles, so I can convince my friends to buy one. Hooray. No one's doing that. Everyone's looking at this, if you look into their community posts, and they're saying like, yo, I'm actually kind of done defending all of you. I was a fanboy, or there are some people, believe it or not, they're saying I was a fangirl, and I actually am done. Even if you do release a brand new console, I'm not going to buy it. I saw that message a lot. I don't know how true those people say, because people say things all the time, but maybe they mean it this time? Who knows? Who actually knows? I look at that and think that is one heck of a 1-2 punch to happen in the week, but it's not over yet. We got one more punch. Microsoft also launched the pre-order. It's actually not Microsoft. Microsoft is supporting it. It's a Xbox marketed thing. The Asus ROG Xbox Ally X. It is similar to a Steam Deck. It's a handheld gaming PC. So it looks like a Switch. It looks like a Steam Deck. It looks like that. It's one of those, a handheld PC. For $1,000, you could oh my gosh, I'm gonna stop right there. For those of you that don't play a lot of video games and you enjoy listening to this because you want to hear the sound of my voice or something like that, I don't know. A Switch 2 is a video game console. And if you want to play video games on it, for $450, you can buy that, plus tax in your area, but you can buy that and then start playing video games on it. Some games are for free, like Fortnite. You could just start downloading and start playing. If you are a PC nerd and you want to do a lot of Steam gaming, a Steam Deck at the highest end, last time I checked, I'll double check right now, we'll doing it live, is $650. Steam Deck, I do believe that's the OLED version. You don't have to get the OLED version. You can go ahead and get the LCD version. I know that's $400. Looking it up on their website right now. Yeah, the most expensive version of a Steam Deck is the OLED version for $650. The least expensive version is the 256 gig version Steam Deck that comes with an LCD screen, and that is $320, which for most people is going to be fine. The ROG Ally X on the highest end is $1,000. And it's running a home version of Windows 11, not even the professional version. Oh boy. I've had someone that messed around with it, described it to me, and they said that navigating it was like, imagine you plugged in your Xbox controller into your PC, and your Xbox controller was your mouse. That is the user experience with that. It's like, ooh, I don't want that. I don't actually want that at all. Will it work for Xbox games? Yes, it's built to play Game Pass games, but playing Game Pass games just recently got more expensive. Now, to be very fair, there is a cheaper version. That is the 1TB version of the Xbox ROG Ally X with 24 gigs of RAM. The 16 gig RAM version, which has 520 gigabytes of storage, 512, I'm sorry. That is $600. So it's worth noting that the 1TB version of the Steam Deck is $650. So who is this for? Like, who is buying the Xbox ROG Ally, or the ROG Xbox Ally, or the ROG XBuy Ally X? These are awful names, by the way. Again, just awful naming conventions. I swear, it's like the Microsoft marketing department for naming, because typically the marketing department comes up with the naming. It's like they stopped caring, or this is the branding, and they don't care anymore what the branding is like. Do they have to bookend it with the X to make the more extreme version? Is that what the X stands for? Extreme? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm sure this is for somebody. I just don't know who. Who looks at this and says, "Yeah, I can. I'll absolutely buy one of these." I don't know. I don't think so. Who is looking at a Xbox Series X right now? For, I do believe the new price of an Xbox Series X is $650. Let me double check. Once again, we're doing it live. $600 if you want to buy a brand new one. The 1TB version. That is still $50 more than the PlayStation 5. What are you getting for that extra $50? I can't tell you. Like, if you were stuck in the market, like, do I get the PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X? But better question, why are you getting the Xbox Series X? What's it going to give you? Is it more powerful? I don't think so. Does it have more games? Empirically, no. It'll have as many games as a PlayStation 5, especially exclusive games. It just doesn't have that many exclusive games. And most of their exclusive games get released to the PC the same day. So if you are the type of person that is in the market for an Xbox or a PlayStation 5, there's a very high likelihood you already have a PC that could run either of the games. There just isn't a PS5 version, or but there is an Xbox version on your PC. But the PS5 version isn't on PC typically yet. Sony's been releasing some of their titles straight to Steam. after about a year or two. They want to tempt you to buy it on the PlayStation 5 first, which is fine. It's whatever. Timed exclusives, I don't necessarily have an issue with. And of course, you could just save a lot more money and just buy a Switch or a Switch 2, and those are pure video gaming machines, and you can play video games on them. These are weird moves by Microsoft, is what I'm trying to say. These are not sustainable moves. These are not moves that a company that wants to keep their business healthy would make. These are moves that a company that is knocking on the door of saying, we're trying to get as much money out of our customers as we can before we leave. That's what these moves are. They are not crashing out of the video game industry like Sega did. I had a Dreamcast. I liked my Dreamcast. It could have been better, but the Dreamcast was just, in my opinion, really ahead of its time in a lot of the things that it did. But I completely understand and respect why it was Sega's last console. It was their last hurrah, and what a console to go out on. I'm not looking at the Xbox Series X, and if this is Microsoft's last console, it's like a wet thud that just fell down. They're not selling a lot of them. I think the last time I checked, they sold 2 million units in the first quarter of 2024. I think something like that. To give you perspective, 2 million units, that sounds like a lot, and that is, relatively speaking, that is a lot of product to move. But again, perspective, I do believe Sony moves 2 million PlayStation 5 units a week, not over the course of a couple months. It's not great for them. It's not cool. It's not great. For anyone that listens to this and you happen to work in the Xbox division, I'd love to hear from you. Like, how's the temperature in the office? How's the work-life balance going? Maybe it's okay. Or, more realistically, I do know some people that used to work under the Microsoft umbrella that were recently laid off, and I could probably guess how you're feeling right now. Anyways, this was what I wanted to get out here real quick. What is my perspective of this? I already told you. I don't think Microsoft is long. I'm going to enhance my fake bet that I made to myself. I think it's more than just, hey, we're going to probably leave the video game industry in the next 7 years. I'm not positive they're making it to 30. I think they spent a lot of money buying Activision King Blizzard. I think they spent a lot of money, and maybe they spent too much money. They spent $70 billion plus lawyer fees, plus all the other overhead costs. It probably got closer to like $75 billion once it was all said and done. Maybe. And what did they get for it? You got the Call of Duty people, and you got the people that make Overwatch 2. I know that's extremely reductive, and I'm being extremely reductive right now, purposely so, but I don't think they found that deal to be as good as they thought it would, in my opinion. Maybe it is or was, but there is nothing that has happened in the past year since that deal went through that has shown that it has improved the company culture for anyone that enjoys playing video games on their platform. Absolutely nothing. So yeah, that's my perspective. I want to hear your perspective. Leave a comment or leave a video rating. Or you can go ahead and just listen to some other podcasts if you want to listen to more. You can go to unscriptedgaming.com. You can see what other podcasts that we're doing there. We have Creed Got Robbed. We have Unscripted Gaming. We have Postscripted. Please listen to some of those. We'll have more episodes of that later. And if you want to hear more game analysis producer perspectives, go hit subscribe here. And finally, if you want to follow me on Blue Sky, please do so. It is at pigeon_of_war. And at the final point, if you want to buy any of my books, that is linked there. And you can go ahead and go to Amazon.com or Kindle.com and just type in my name, Ray Hazlip. And there you go. A couple of the books I wrote pop up. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you have yourself a fine weekend.